What's up? What's happening? What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? K Mega 405. Hold on, I got some background music in the back. My bad. Hold on, let me go back. Uh oh. Let me take that off. Okay, anyway, sorry about that. What up, Raiji? I'm here. I'm on time, actually. So, yeah, I'm sorry that I've been late, that you haven't really heard from me all last week. You did see if you caught me on Fight Night Sunday playing Tokon. Then I had like a crazy glitch. Then I had to pop back up again without me being seen. So either way, we're good. We're good. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, here we go. I'm over here talking and I'm not even on here. All right, what's going on, everybody? What's happening? What's going on? I was over here, didn't even hit the button yet. I was over here listening to something in the background and it had me distracted. Sorry about that. What's going on? What's happening? K Mega 405 coming to you live from the 405, where I'm just your regular gamer talking to the intelligent gamers out there. And so anyway, I don't know if you heard me. I'll repeat it right fast. I thought I heard myself talk, but I don't know. Whatever. Sorry about not coming on and doing anything all last week, pretty much because of the fact that I was just being lazy. That's all it was. I wasn't even it wasn't nothing serious or nothing like that. Now this week I got a lot of doctor's appointments and stuff like that to take care of. But other than that, you're gonna see me. There's so much to talk about, so I want to catch up on some stuff. So we'll just do this is my thoughts here tonight, and then we'll come back on our regular time tomorrow. Talk about some more stuff. I don't want to just shoot the whole wad all at once when we talk about like a 3 hour plus stream. I ain't doing that. Anyway, I got some gaming to do. So anyway, so just saying what's up to everybody. Man, I don't know which one I want to start off on first. I think I'm probably going to start off on E-Day. Since you see that in the gameplay in the background, give you my thoughts about the beta. I've seen that there's been mostly overwhelmingly positive about E-Day, but there's still those people that, and again, change is different for certain people. I personally think that the movement, what's going on with you, Stanley? I personally feel that the movement is crazy. I think the movement is insanely smooth. It feels good. Again, I've never been a really good Gears online player. I'm more of a person you would call an assist guy. Like other people that played Gears a lot better than me, like Lady Foxfire, Don played it a lot better than me. Quite a few others. Anyway, but I'm the assist guy. I'm coming in there. I have my moments. I can get a couple of shotgun kills on you. I could do a little wall bouncing. Nothing to the level of what some of these pros can do. But, still have a good time playing it. He said, is this a new GRG schedule? No, DJ Berto Das. This is just me coming in. I know that I haven't done my thoughts all week last week. And I did do Fight Night Sunday. But like pretty much all last week, I didn't really do anything. I was just explaining that I was just being lazy. So I just want to kind of fill in and do something. So I had an appointment earlier today at the regular time that I usually do. My thoughts. But if this is one of these things where people like me doing this later at night, then I can adjust and do this like at this time. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I'm more of a night owl anyway. But I still want to kind of do some day content because mostly everything that I do is usually at night. So I'm just like, you know what, we could do my thoughts during the day, whatever. And I also do the stuff with game section with the fellas over there during the day on Sundays. But anyway, so go check that out. The link is in the description for go check out the team. But man, I think, I just think that the movement is crisp. It just flows perfectly. It feels like a more modern game. Like if you go and you play Reloaded, Gears Reloaded. Gears Reloaded plays fine, plays a lot better than the original Gears, but it still feels kind of clunky. And I seen somebody that posted and says, well, that was the charm, is the clunky. No. See, again, I don't want that. If you want clunky, go back to the old stuff. this is the same problem that we have with like with people still wanting Halo to be 2001. That's not going to work. I do want to give my impressions on the Halo remake. I have been playing that a little bit as well. I do enjoy it. I think it's all great. So but yeah, the movement is so smooth. It feels so good in E-Day that is like, oh, okay, all right. I can. It makes me feel like I got an opportunity to jump in and do some things to combat some of the wall bouncers. Now again, I only dabbled into the PvP part only once. And, it was just a kind of a feel of trying to get in. I got worked, but it was just to jump in. I've heard like you'll get worked a little bit and then they'll put you in with, balance you out with other players that's kind of on your skill level or whatever. But I just wanted to get the feel of it because I know it was a beta and I just wanted to see how it flowed. I played it on the Xbox version. I played it on the PC through the Xbox app. And yeah, like either way, it felt real good and smooth. Everything was real responsive. So already it's ready to go. I think when they do betas and stuff like this, it's always smart. It's great. Like, I think if there was one thing that needed to be implemented to go into the future of gaming is these things that's been happening over the last, I would say, decade, where they're doing these betas, giving you opportunities to try these games out, see it, test it, do the stress test, stuff like that. I think that's so effective. So those are the things that is positive in gaming at this point going forward, where especially with online games, do those stress tests, do the scenes, see what people like, see what people don't like. It was the same thing that happened with Tokon. I'm still not the biggest fan of the switching the characters in Tokon, but it's so much better than what it was in the beta before. And I didn't even get to play the alpha beta, or I don't know if that was still called the beta, but I only played this last beta of Tokon before that came out. So, and I already feel the improvements into that game. Just like, for this was my first time playing this Gears. I know that there was people being able to play it a little bit earlier. I guess that's if people bought the pre-order, maybe they got a chance to play it earlier or something of that nature, or just maybe they just got the enhanced copies because of who they know, networking, stuff like that. But either way, I am very, very impressed with it. It's day one. I'm on it. There's no question. Gears is going to be phenomenal. And this is another banger from Xbox for sure. I'm just pleased with it. I'm pleased with it. The horde mode alone. We know the story is going to be epic. Just knowing about what's going to happen, what started Emergence Day. You know what I mean? Like just going through all of that story of just seeing young Dom, young Marcus going through it and everything. So, and seeing everybody else that's young, Cole, all the rest of them, how they all got put and linked in together. So like, for people who maybe haven't gone into the deep lore or things of that nature. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be real fun. I can't wait for it. And that's definitely going to be a day one buy for me. I will, usually sometimes I'll go ahead and I'll get like the premium edition and then I'll wait for a sale and then I'll go ahead and I'll get it. But no, for this one, I'm getting, for the reward of them going back and bringing the game to be exclusive. Yeah, I'm going to have to show support. So that's exactly the same thing I'm going to do with Clockwork Revolution, and also for anything else that they drop going forward that's going to be exclusive. I think that when I talk about Halo here in a minute, I think that it's going to be one of those things where we're going to start seeing and hearing a lot more about exclusivity with Xbox going forward. But with that being said, I don't know. You got to let me know in the chat what you guys thought about the Gears beta. I think it was superb for just what I played. I played tons of hours on it. I know that there was people that was already like ranked 29, so I wasn't killing it like that. Like I got ranked like 5 to 7, so I'm like, but still, for me to sit there and just to jump on it and just say, because I'm more into with Gears, I'm more into the story. I have become a big fan of the horde mode, and then because of what was going on into 5, and again, I'll jump in on some multiplayer with friends, but I think with this because I love the movement, I think that I can jump in and play some some multiplayer by myself without having to be with any friends or anybody like that. So, and give it a shot, see where I stand. So yeah, so and I know that there's going to be another beta here. I think on the 13th. They're going to redo the beta, so it's going to be on the 13th. I still have it downloaded. I don't know if it hopefully it'll update over, and then I can just go ahead and just jump right in. But if not, then I got the room for it to uninstall whatever I had for the old beta and then re-download the next beta. We'll find out. But other than that, I'm definitely going to be on it. I'm going to give it a shot. So I'm very, very, very excited about it. Yeah, the maps are fantastic. Like it's so well balanced. It's in the sense of like the polish of the game, the movement, like the variety of the weapons. Just man, I'm really stoked for it. I'm really, really stoked for it. And like, I'm not the biggest Gears multiplayer fan. I'm more of a Halo fan multiplayer wise than I am Gears. But man, it's Gears time. That's just what it is. I've been saying that for a little while now. Going back to Gears 5, I just felt like after playing Gears 5, really enjoyed that. I know a lot of people act weird about like the ending because how they're gonna flex that into the next Gears. I guess would be Gears 6. With how the ending worked, there's been plenty of games that has different endings and crazy endings like that. So it'll all mesh and works itself out properly. So anyway, just be more excited about Emergence Day, E-Day. So I'm excited about it. So yeah, it's gonna be really cool. But I've seen that Gears has had the opportunity to try to surpass Halo, and since Halo has been been in this hit and miss mode, I think again, you know how I feel about Halo 5. It's one of my favorite Halos. It is my favorite multiplayer. Halo 5's multiplayer is god tier. One of my favorite all-time multiplayers. We're putting that up there with Battlefield 4. I'm a huge fan of Battlefield Hardlines multiplayer. Going back to Call of Duty Black Ops 2, Advanced Warfare. Man, like those are and even Battlefield 1. Saying like, and then I've really gone crazy on Black Ops 6. So and so like Black Ops 6, I just had a lot of fun with it. I think when they redid Modern Warfare, when they finally started bringing those back, I think that Modern Warfare was sick. I think what came out in 2019. That was excellent. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, Call of Duty ain't going nowhere, because I've always kind of been like, eventually Call of Duty is going to have a slip up of some sort. They did have that slip up with that kind of thrown in Call of Duty going when it was all because of that ABK deal that was going on. So they kind of threw in that one Call of Duty because that story mode was kind of weird, how it wasn't like a normal story mode of what usually Activision brings, but still. But that Modern Warfare, when that they first redid that and brought that back, I thought that multiplayer was, and the story was sick. So that's got to be up there as well. But anyway, I just think that E-Day is going to be really, really good. So there's really not too much more to say, except I'm looking forward to the 13th. I'm very much looking forward to the 13th. Raji says we should jump on for a couple of Halo 5 Slayers. I'm with that. We talked to the fellas at Game Section and them, but with Kano and Sinister, and they was down for it. But there's some other games that we still got to jump back on Remnant, because on Remnant 2 we did only a little bit of that. The Division, I think that they already played the Division, but I need to go ahead and do that. Then there's Wildlands. I seen that I added that. I haven't. I booted it up, but I didn't play anything. I just installed it into the Series X, so to see the enhancements on that. So yeah, there's plenty of games to go in there, but Halo 5 definitely is going to be on that list for sure. I'm always down for jumping in on some Halo 5 for sure. All right, so since we're talking about Halo, let's get into the Halo. And so now this is the part where we get a little bit sticky right now. And that's because of the sales. So what did we learn? What did we learn, Xbox? What did we learn, gaming community? You just don't give. And I understand that there's some situations in between of why Halo remake didn't do as maybe projected or didn't do as well on the PlayStation. But and I'll get into that. But I just feel like if this was a learning moment right now for Xbox, this is it, right? The game, what? You want a cookie? You outsold Soros. No, this game should have been already hit like 1 million or close to it. I mean, it's Halo. And I understand that Halo has lost its luster over the years because there's been so many people tearing down Halo, even though there has not been a bad Halo game dropped. None. I think for me, the worst Halo game for me, I mean, if you want to count the twin shooters, even the twin shooters weren't bad, but they weren't, they're not for everybody. I would say ODST, and that was like an expansion. ODST is probably the worst Halo that was dropped, and that was beloved by quite a few people because they loved Buck and they loved this, just the fact of the new kind of character that you played in there. But like going to play that again, it just felt old, and it was like it was time for something different. So that's why I felt okay about how they were presenting Halo 4's multiplayer, even though a lot of people were not for it. But I felt like they got the multiplayer right in Halo 5 with the changes. And of course, now with Halo Infinite, went kind of back to the old ways, and that's fine. I have no problem with that. It was the mix of the two. I still wish that you could have those abilities, the charge, the slam, you know what I'm saying, the air slam, all that, like those things added a whole different layer to the gameplay, but it is what it is. But not selling like what I was sitting here and I'm looking and I'm reading is like it said it sold around, let's see. So it sold like 1.2 million. It sold more on Xbox, of course. And like 600K? Yeah. So I mean, 600K on PlayStation is, and listen, I think, and for what I'm reading here is from this, I'm going to read a little bit of this. It said, one of the reasons for the issues of it not selling as well is because it didn't have a multiplayer feature on it, which I could understand that. But it also says here is that, as many pointed out, a Master Chief Collection released on PlayStation 5 would certainly have done far better than the campaign-only remake did. And that part I do agree with. And that to me is where I felt like Xbox should have done that. Should have came out with the Master Chief Collection, put it out there. We're talking about something that came out, 12 years ago? 12 years ago? Over a decade ago. So again, it's that's fine, and it's all old nostalgia. You get it's like one of the best collections ever made, in my opinion. Like with everything that they offered into the Master Chief Collection, and then then you would gravitate to the people that have that nostalgia. But for the remake, you should have kept that exclusive to get people to say, oh man, so they did that. And then you hear about the new revamped controls, which I felt the controls were proper. That's how Halo should be from going forward. If they're going to do these remakes, which I think that I haven't beat the remake yet, but it's already been pretty much confirmed by a lot of people that the second one is going to be coming out. So I'm cool with that. But I'm cool with that. So it is, but the controls need to stay the same as it is in this. I don't want to go back to the old stuff, but I do feel Master Chief Collection would have been a better offering to the PlayStation community if you were going to do that. Because what this just shows is that, like, there's other priorities for PlayStation gamers out there that over Halo. Like, I mean, Tokon was just right around the corner. Then you got college football. I know that there's some people out there that scoff at sports games, but listen, PlayStation is more of a casual console. So of course, college football, and then you got Madden that's dropping, if already dropped. If you got the early edition, so it's one of these things where, or it drops tonight. I know you can get early access yesterday, but anyway. But then you got Madden, and then you got other games that's in between as well. So Halo being $50, $60, it should have been cheaper, especially not having the multiplayer. So I think that was one of the strikes for it as well. I do feel that it said Seppo said, he said, honestly, what up, Curie? So what's up, fam? What's up? He said he said Wildlands looked the same, but now it's 60 frames per second. I'll be the judge of that, sir. But I mean, that having it to 60 frames per second is going to benefit it a lot. So I will definitely have to check that out. Let me read what Seppo was saying and get back to what I'm saying. He said, honestly, I was thinking the problem with Halo isn't Halo. Halo just isn't clicking with younger gamers, newer audiences. Why? Can you imagine this day and end? Sony first party games are struggling. Now, that is partially true too. Like, I mean, listen, you have a just think about how long it's been since 2013, where there's been nothing but just Xbox bashing, and damn near every Xbox game gets hate. The only game that gets a pass is Forza, because Forza has just done something that really is undeniable. Like it's a force that's just undeniable. Even the gaming media, as much as they try to tell you, well, it's just a racer. It's too much of a phenomenon to stop. So now they just kind of conceded and understand that Forza is a force, especially Forza Horizon. So they just got to leave that. They got to leave that alone. But the one game that has been on the chopping block, or I should say chopping block, but it's been on a been the bullseye, the crosshairs, because now, since like God of War is like really, really huge, God of War has been good, but it ain't been on Halo's good. Now it's kind of reversed because Halo has kind of dropped off in that sense because of this and that and the third. So now you know what I'm saying, for all these years of just talking about every Halo game that's come out, it's poor, it's bad, it's trash, it's Game Pass fodder. And knowing that these Halo games has been better products than some of these PlayStation games, hell, even some of these Nintendo games out here. Like I said, you can have a problem with 343 Industries or now with Halo Studios, but they have not failed us on delivering us a good game. You might not like the story. You cannot ever talk bad about how the game plays. Ever. There's not been a bad playing Halo game. And the only time that I bring up ODST is because ODST felt old. Halo 4 dropped after that. Halo 4 set a standard graphically for a shooter and also kind of redefined the shooter of a classic, even though like the old heads, they didn't like it, of course, because they want to be traditionalists. And as you were bringing up, that's the problem. The traditionalists, they should never listen to them. Enhance the game to just like they did with God of War. That's what you're supposed to do. So it's not like Halo, but see, this is the thing about Halo that still makes it relevant. People still buy it. And it still sold 1.2 million. When you know that it's gone is when it's not doing very well on Xbox. And listen, it's a remake. You know how many Xbox players like myself has beaten Halo? I can't, the first Halo game, like that's the reason why it's not like, man, it wasn't like I was in awe about it. I was like, oh, well, that's cool. And then I'm looking at it, I'm like, I'm definitely going to play it because it looks incredible. But I've been at this journey over and over and over. I'm probably have beaten Halo, the first Halo, I would swear maybe 30 to 40 times. I mean, as many times as we've gone through it with just the first iteration, when I first had had an opportunity to play it on the Xbox, on the OG Xbox. I mean, man, like we had to get it because I had to show other friends that when I got my own OG Xbox was like, oh man, I got to show you this Halo game. And so then we all playing split screen co-op. And then like, so it just constantly, so just when that, and I was a real late adopter to the OG Xbox. So, you know what I'm saying? And I wasn't even an online player. I was a late bloomer on the online gaming space. So everything was like split screen for me at that time. So, and then we going through it. And then, you know, some of the people who didn't only just had nothing but a PlayStation or still even had a PlayStation 2 or a Dreamcast would come through and they would want to play that Halo. And then we would go through it, we would beat it. And there would be times where we had a full session just going through the game from start to finish. So, and then I've like, you know, there's been streams of me and Don going through it. And then we even went back and played it. And then the countless times that we played it and beat it on the Master Chief Collection. So I've played the Halo Halo Evolved so many times. It's not new. That's why I'm not so like, okay, yeah, I'm just giddy for it. But when I was playing it, I was still in awe of like how well it feels, the just the sounds, the everything. Just like, you know what I'm saying, it brings back that nostalgia. But it is the truth that it doesn't resonate like it used to. And so bringing this back is cool. But what you should do, and what hopefully Xbox has learned from this, is that they will make the second one exclusive. Just do it. I mean, I guess at the point that people's like, well, what's the point of that? That's kind of taking away the point. And so I guess in a sense, because you already did the first remake, so you might as well do the other two, right? But I don't know, man. I just feel like if you take it away for a hot minute, if then maybe they'll miss it. Maybe they'll PlayStation, and if the PlayStation community don't complain about it or say that they need it or they want it or anything like that, like give them a reason to want the game. You know what I'm saying? Because really, to me, Halo 2 is the best Halo game for me. Like, you know, I love Halo 5, but Halo 2 is God tier. Like that is S tier, my all-time favorite Halo. So well over 3. 3 is like in my mid tier. I know there's a lot of people, but again, a lot of younger kids played 3 before they played 1 and 2. So I can understand why 3 is so entrenched in them. But 3 just didn't hit as hard as 2 or 1 or 4 or 5, in my opinion. Or Reach. 3 was great. And I think what did it for me for 3 was, it wasn't because of the all going through the game, it was the ending. Because it set a point to where it was it. Like, okay, you know, you reacted the same thing that you did in 1, you know, and I was like, oh, so he goes on ice and you're like, okay, it's over. This was a great trilogy. Wow, incredible. But then when you bring 4 and then it's a whole different dynamic, and it's just, well, and just also with Reach and then 4, like, man, nah, man. You know what I'm saying? Like Reach hit. And then like 4 was stupid. Like 4 was like, oh, now they're making him grounded. They were doing what they did with God of War. With God of War 2018, they were grounding Chief. They were giving him. He wasn't just some kind of Walking's 80s movie type character. They were humanizing him, and that was the thing about it that made me love 4 so much. Like him, and that bond between him and Cortana was just incredible. And then the Didac was like stupid. Like so everything about 4 was just incredible. So it was like, you know, 3, you go back and I think about all these other ones, and like Halo Infinite, the story would have been so incredible if they just didn't chop so much out, but we understand why. You know how I get passionate about Halo. I love Halo, but I think the reason for there's multiple reasons. One is that it had a bullseye on its chest, that because Halo was this phenom There was one of the biggest games ever and or franchises ever, and it was dog walking anything that PlayStation had. Even God of War at the time. Like God of War was madly popular, but Halo was like, and so like when Halo slipped, then here comes God of War. And you know, Spider-Man is Spider-Man. Spider-Man is one of the most popular comic book characters that's out there. I don't really even count that, like, because again, Sony's got it locked up. That's cool, whatever. But it's Spider-Man, right? Like, you know, so like when you talk about like other games, like when you talk about The Last of Us, you're talking about Ratchet and Clank, you're talking about Uncharted, stuff like that. Halo still is above those. Just only God of War has now gotten to the top tiers, like the S tier now. Halo's kind of dropped down to the B tier. And I think, and this is why I tell, well, Gears, it's time for Gears to make that leap over Halo finally. And then we might see Fable. We'll see what Fable is going to be about. Like, this is another thing, I think, another miss where I think Fable should not be on PlayStation, but it's already too late. But I think that Fable is going to be making a strong comeback, and I'm excited about it. But I just feel like the problem with the remake is pricing for one. It got sandwiched into some other games that people just don't comprehend that are important to that PlayStation fan base. And again, like, it's also important to the Xbox fan base because like these sports games sell. So you're not going to ever get past that. And I know that people wants to overlook them, but you can't. You can't. They are the lifeblood of the game of gaming. Like, those games do so well. And even and this is what's crazy, because even like when Madden sales go down or something like that, it still outdoes mostly everything else, even when they have a decrease in sales. So that shows you how potent sports games are. And so when you kind of put that out around the same time of a college football, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like if Halo was $30, I think it would have cooked. It would have cooked, and I still think it's going to cook. I think it's going to get. It was what 900. It was 900K from when I seen this graph for Xbox. That when this game drops down, when it has its first sale, it's going to get that 100,000 no problem. I can see it getting to getting to 2.5 in no time, probably by the end of the year. So maybe even close to 3. It's according to how much the sale is. But I mean, Halo is. I'm happy that it's gotten over 1 million, but I still think that it'll get to that 3 million mark. I just don't know how much it will do, how much more better it will do on PlayStation. You know, it will definitely do better on Steam when it has a sale. And besides it, I understand like it didn't. A lot of people on the PC side use Game Pass. So last time when I was reading the article, it was talking about it cannibalized itself. Listen, people paid into Game Pass, and they paid the extra $20 for the premium. Stop that. There's no cannibalizing for anything, because you know what they did. They didn't cancel it. They went ahead and they're like, oh, Beast of Reincarnation, let's try that. Oh, okay, let me try this. Forza, let's try that. Like they're still holding on to their Game Pass for a reason. And that's not cannibalizing themselves. That's just steady income that's still going in, on top of the fact, like I said, when people pay $20, that's $20 a pop. Like you got what? Because that's what I said, the majority of the people on PC look like they played it from Game Pass. Well, okay. I mean, and it didn't disclose the numbers, but still, so go ahead, some of these comments. Oh, thank you so much. I said Preston, appreciate it so much for the coin. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? It says the new Madden definitely looks good. It does. I've heard some really good things about it. I'm going to play it here at some point, for sure. You know me. I'm going to be playing my sports games. Right now, I've been losing my mind on Baldur's Gate 3. Since now I finally went to Play Anywhere. I'm like, okay. And so I've gotten lost. I'm into it now. So now, like, after I get off here, I'm going straight to Baldur's Gate 3. So, but yeah, when I get Madden, I'll be on that, and then Baldur's Gate going to be on the shelf for a little bit, then be back. But I got to start trying to knock some of these games out because there's so many games that's going to be dropping here, especially in September. I got to get some stuff knocked out. So Halo is going to get knocked out. We're going to see how much, because Baldur's Gate, that already looks like that's a 200 to 400 hour game. We'll see if we can knock that out before then. I want to try, but then there's also a couple of other games that I kind of want to knock out. I'm going to definitely knock out the story mode in Tokon. Want to knock out the story mode. Trying to get all those story modes in Sparking Zero, Dragon Ball Z, Sparking Zero, and there's a couple other games. Anyway, let me stay on point. Let me read these comments here. It says, "Oh wow, you actually managed to finish it." This says the update. It says the game update to 7. Oh, y'all talking about some other game? Okay. Said, oh yeah, y'all talking about like. It says, remember the Persona Striker and Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core. He says those games felt like Japanese spitting in our faces. At least Xbox gave the first game of the story. You know what? I did not have a problem with Persona Striker. I thought it was cool for what it was. Now, Final Fantasy Crisis Core, yeah, like it didn't. It seemed like it was very cheaply done, and then they were asking for ridiculous price for it. So I did pick it up. I did pick it up on Xbox because I was excited for it, and I was disappointed, and I was just like, yo, this is, what's going on here? Like, this isn't what I was expecting, but still, I definitely agree with Final Fantasy Crisis Core. He says, man, you got to stop slacking. He says, we're about to head into the final nation. He says, well, oh, y'all still talking about that game. Never mind. He says, I will catch up when my Game Pass ends in 2 months. Oh, y'all still talking about that game. You and Curie are going off on that game. Sapo says he can't wait for Fable. He says, but the media, Sony taking talking heads are going to kill Fable. Maybe not, because it's on PlayStation. That's like, again, going back to the Halo. One of the reasons why Halo has kind of lost its luster is because of the target on its back, and because also and it's some of it, a lot of it is self-inflicted too, with the difference in listening to too many people about what Halo should be, instead of just going in a direction where they want to take it. They're the creators. Again, if I wouldn't have had a problem with the people that were saying that they wanted to go back to a more older traditional style Halo, that made sense. And I felt like Halo Infinite made sense because it, like I said, it gave you the best of both worlds. It took away the stuff that they didn't like from what the old heads didn't like from Halo 5. But they implemented this, and they implemented the stuff that was solid from the old Halos. And they took things that they got from the newer Halos, from Halo 4, Halo 5, and kind of clamped that together and tried to give us the best of both worlds. And I felt like they did. Like, I'm like, okay, I want to have my powers, but they're doing it kind of old school tradition, but I'm good. I can use my trigger. I can use my left trigger for my left trigger to aim. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to click on this button and do, you know what I'm saying? I can run, I can clamor, like, you know what I'm saying? Make this game feel more modern while still playing smooth, still keeping that Halo tradition. And people still shitted on that game. And I'm not talking about like the haters of anything that's Xbox, but it was the Halo community, people within the Halo community that just wanted the old school power walk, old school way of Halo. They wanted Master Chief Collection style. And I can't rock that. Like that, and that's, to me, is when I knew that things got out of hand. And there was too many people within 343 that was having, at that time when they were 343, just listening to too many people, or they had that same thought. And then not even putting in perspective is like, you need to modernize this game for younger audiences. You want this game to become and that's why I've always said, like, you got to go past Chief. You got to do more to bring in the next generation. Listen, if you know what I'm saying, what boomers and Gen X and and now older millennials, what they like then, Gen Alpha and Gen Z is not, or Gen Z and Gen Alpha ain't going to give a damn about all that. Like, the how we game is different. Like, they're always on the go. You know what I mean? Like, while we're more traditional, like, we have to have a screen, or we want to have a console that is still, or a PC monitor, where a lot of other people just want these younger people. It's their phone, or it's a Switch, or it's the Rogue Ally, or if it's whatever the PlayStation Portal. It's different. So I like, get with the times, people. Get with the times. You know what I'm saying? Just play Master Chief Collection if you want that old nostalgia. Because you know what? It's gaming now is it's just, especially for people my age. Like, I will be 51 on the 25th of this month. I still may have a little bit of say so in some things, but if you 55 or more, maybe I would even, you know what I'm saying, 55 or more, 60 or more, like, bro, man, just enjoy gaming for what they're offering. If not, go back to the retro style. Because then eventually, it's just like, for me, it's like I said, I already know kind of like how this feels. It's like when you have a voice about something, about how you liked what things were and how they and how the games were presented and things of that nature. Yeah, it was dope. It was cool. But that's why I keep trying to tell people to keep your older consoles. When you're going to get this new Xbox, this new PlayStation, or if you're going to go ahead and get it, don't trade in your shit. Keep it. Just kind of hustle your money and sit there and do and hustle your money, and then try to get that console when you can, but keep your old stuff. And then, like, you know, go back to the old school. Go find some old stuff. Go to eBay. Go to a swap meet. Go to a pawn shop. Go to, you know what I'm saying, go to different places. Go to Facebook Market or something like that, and look and see for older hardware. You know, like, I mean, there's plenty of places where you can go there. You can go to old game store. You can go to brick and mortar stores that got older, that sells older stuff, and get the older stuff. If you know what I'm saying, the nostalgia is great. There's a lot of great appeal with that stuff. But then, like, going into the future of how games are being made, it's getting past our prime. It's pretty much probably might be already past my prime, since I'm already 50. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's like, bro. You might try to hold on, saying maybe if you get to 55. Nah, man, it might be past me. So it's a weird situation. So yeah, it's pretty wild. So yeah, but yeah, he said don't give Striker and Crisis Core. He says I don't give Striker and Crisis Core, but not Persona 5 or Final Fantasy 7 Remake. No, they're not the same. Like, I mean, Persona 5, that's a full-fledged, you know, money-making game. That was I'm sure a AAA. It had to be definitely AAA. Especially Persona 5 Royale. Like, I mean, I just think Persona 5 itself was a AAA game. And Final Fantasy Remake, yes, for sure. Like, you know, I mean, like, Core was just, it just seemed like it was just kind of like a semi-updated, like, port. Like, it wasn't all that great. Like, but I mean, but just like, it's like Strange Paradise, like, that looked great. Like, that game was hard as shit, but still, it looked great. That's what I was hoping that Core was going to be. So, but anyway, I wouldn't be surprised if there would be some kind of remaster of Crisis Core, like a true remaster for the next generation or something or whatever. It says Sapo said the games they play Gen Alpha, Gen Z aren't even graphical showcases. Exactly. Like, I mean, listen, some of the most popular games, like, I mean, you know, take PC out of it, because PC gamers are, even though I'm a PC gamer now, you know, I play a lot of PC, but I mean, even to me, like I look and see their top 10, I'll see their top 10, or I'll see games that they clamor about. I'm like, what? I'm like, ugh. You know what I'm saying? But again, like, you know, I'm still a console guy overall. So I mean, like, I like to have the graphics. You know, this is the reason why consoles. I'm always going to be a console guy over everything else, is because of the fact that, like, yeah, it's going to give me that fidelity. And you know what I'm saying? I mean, I love performance, but I got to have those graphics, Jack, man. That shit's got to look sweet. Now it's got to look sweet. What up with you, Verge? What's happening with you? What's happening with you? But see, again, this isn't the only game to sit there and before I move on to the next topic, but this isn't the only game for that's an Xbox game that came over that's one of the bigs. Like, I mean, look at what happened to Gears of War Reloaded. That did so poor on PlayStation. Like, that. These things have to make Xbox. Has to make Asha and team look at this and say, ooh. And then you look at how also, because of whatever craziness that pissed PlayStation off, from what Xbox did or whatever, then they sit there and they bringing out one of their games to, which is what, Luffy, however you say her name, the God of War game, that's going to be in the same week or whatever with against Fable, to try to hurt Xbox sales. And listen, this is on Xbox for making these decisions. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? PlayStation can kind of do what they want to, how they want to, and if they feel like they're not getting treated right, or they could just sit there and just do it just on GP. They might even not even have to have a reason for Xbox to piss them off to sit here and to do that just because. So I feel that that's another reason why Fable should have never, ever. And I understand this deal came in from Phil and team, but we know exactly where that came from the Xbox side. That came from the four horsemen of apocalypse, which is, you know what I'm saying, Amy Hood and that staff, that top four brass. They're the ones that did that. Like, look, we need our money, so do what you got to do. So Project Latitude was a thing. What, Luffy? I don't know. God of War's broad. I think it looks cool. I'm intrigued by it, but I mean, the cube thing does make me feel like, what is that? But other than that, it does look dope to me. I'll definitely play it. I just, you know, would I finish it? Like, if that cube doesn't change into something, or, you know, is right on point with its wit, because it has to be a funny character. It cannot be serious. You know what I mean? Like, there might be some serious moments in it, but I mean, I don't know how I could take it seriously. Like, you know how PlayStation games could be overly dramatical with shit. So this cube is trying to give an explanation of why it's like that, and give a heartwarming scenario to where you need to feel sorry for. I'm just not going to. I'm not going to. It's going to lose me. So I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, but you know, you got to do some hellified writing in order for me to sit there and to really give a damn about that cube. So that's what I'm saying. It has to be comic relief. You know what I mean? That's the only way that I can look at that big ass cube. That's it. But anyway, somebody's in the cube. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there is, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if it comes out to where it's like, I don't care, a little elf or some shit or whatever, cool, whatever. I'm not tripping. You know, like, if it's the son of the damn blacksmith from God of War, you know what I'm saying, 2018, I ain't tripping. Cool, but it's got to turn into something humanoid or an animal or some shit, not a big cube of clay. Yeah, I'm not feeling that. Like, I understand it's something different. I don't know though. I don't know. But anyway, let's move on. Let's just move on. Hopefully, Xbox will figure this situation out. You know what I'm saying? It's good that Halo is over 102 million at this point. but hopefully, and I do see it getting close to 3 by the end of the year. Definitely with the sales and Black Friday sales coming up. So I definitely see it getting at least 2.5 easily. On Xbox. Yeah, with Xbox holding it down. So, you know what I mean? That's what it is. And it also just shows, listen, whatever you're going to do with the new Halo has to stay exclusive. We're the ones that care about Halo. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is some PlayStation players that once were on Xbox that went over to PlayStation, but still is at PlayStation. Yeah, man. They need to just come on back home then. That's it. Don't bring the greatness back over to PlayStation, because PlayStation isn't giving their greatness to us. So we're getting Marathon. We get Helldivers too, but that's about it. So anyway, so let's go ahead and talk about Tokon right fast. All right. Okay, so I got the PC version. And I understand that the PlayStation 5 version plays a lot better. I know that they got a patch for it already, which I'm going to break that down. I'm going to give me a crazy thought on this, but it's only being a theory, but I'll get to that in a hot second. So I played it. I was streaming it. Now I did play a couple of online matches. I didn't have too many hiccups. Now when I first started playing it, when I was playing the beta, I did get quite a few hiccups. Like, you could just tell. But again, nobody's PC is equal in a sense. Like, you know, it's like I got a high end PC, so I know that for the most part it's going to do well. But you still got to worry about cheaters. You still got to worry about this, that, and the third. And so, like, if you're going, and it's just like, for instance, okay, the how I took it when I was playing those online matches is like when I first, and they fixed that too on Killer Instinct. But on Killer Instinct, there was moments where when you played somebody who was still playing on the Xbox One and you got a Series X, it was not only a slowdown in some places, but you could kind of tell that like their shit was over there cooking. You know what I mean? Like, so it would stutter. It would be some issues. Like, you would sit there and try to be in your combo set and it wouldn't register, and then next thing you know, they're doing some dominant shit. And if they were cheating, then you could get cooked. So it eventually ironed itself out. And I think that, you know, and everybody's going to find an angle. It doesn't even matter. The DRM stuff is so weird to me because it helps to a certain degree, but it doesn't hurt. It doesn't help overall because there's always cheaters that's going to find a workaround. So anyway, it did have its flaws for sure. But when I played it on Fight Nights this past Sunday, I did play, like I said, played a couple of matches. They felt pretty good, but you did feel the lag a little bit. You did kind of tell that it didn't have rollback netcode for some odd reason. So anyway, while this whole Tokon thing is, this Marvel's Tokon thing has gotten kind of crazy, one of the biggest fighting content creators, Maximilian, said, you know, was playing it and was getting cooked. Like, I mean, again, he gets cooked sometimes, but you know what I'm saying? He's a pro fighter. Like, so he's getting in, he's in the lab. He's going to do 7-8 hours of just straight playing people online until he perfects his craft. But he was having so many issues within the game playing it on the PC. He uninstalled that bitch. That is not like him because he plays pretty even kill. Now, he's a PlayStation guy. Don't get it twisted. But he does play, but he is an even kill, and especially he wants all fighters to succeed, just like I do. So it's one of these things like, you know, and his preferred place to play those games is on PC. So that's the thing to me, is where it tripped me out that he just got frustrated. Like, he was like done. And this is where I'm going to jump into he says, I can't even play Tokon on Steam. It crashes on the select screen every time. That's crazy, Namor. That's crazy. Oh, I said Namor. Omar, sorry. I have heard that too. But anyway, that was wild because, like I said, Maximilian is more of the piece. Try to play even kill. I think that there's sometimes he should criticize PlayStation a little bit more than what he does, but still, regardless of that, like I said, he's a PlayStation guy. When it comes to the console side of it, he's more of a PC guy. But That's unacceptable. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if he got a free copy or if he didn't, he paid for some copy because he had a PlayStation copy as well. So he paid for either the PC copy or he paid for the PlayStation copy. Most likely he probably got the PlayStation copy for free. Which is fine. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like this man promotes the shit out of fighting games. Better than most out there. I mean, there's Wolfmonger and there's tons of us out there like that. You know what I'm saying? I follow quite a few fighting people, but but this is where my theory comes in. Now, it already looked bad for Tokon as it was, because when the last time that I checked it Sunday, and this is the only thing I'm just checking because I want to see the success of the game. And also but the game only had like 8,000 players, and its max all-time players was like 14,000, and that was Sunday. Now it's up to 23 or 24. It's between 23 and 25,000 now. Still not great, because I mean, you got to look at like games like Guilty Gear Strive. Guilty Gear Strive is niche. It's a niche fighter. Now it's grown in popularity because of one reason. Because remember, Guilty Gear was always exclusive console-wise on PlayStation. It came on Xbox on the 360, like I think on the Xbox OG and on 360, but it was like maybe one or two iterations, and then PlayStation did all that locking down shit, and then like the big time Guilty Gears. Guilty Gear XR and then Guilty Gear Strive, there for the longest time was only on PlayStation and PC. And then I think I don't know if XR might have went to the Switch. Yeah, I don't know. Strive did go to the Switch, I'm sure. But anyway, regardless of that, but it took a while. It wasn't like day one. But once it came to Xbox, and a lot of people were like, oh, it got traction. And of course, the one thing that I've always said about fighters, in order for fighters to have a chance, it has to have crossplay. It has to have crossplay. It has to have rollback netcode, and it has to have content, flowing content. You know what I mean? So, but it has to be on everything. It can't just be selective on whatever is going on. So anyway, we're looking at that, and now, like I said, it's like between 23 and 25,000 all time. And I think the last time that I checked, that it was like 8 to 14,000 people online playing the game concurrently. This game just came out Thursday. That's not a good look. And then on top of that, you had this situation to where this game was not playable on PC. So, and that's the biggest demographic than the consoles combined. So that's not a good look. And I know that like fighting games is not the primary focus on the PC, but it's still a huge, if it gets traction, then people are going to buy it. Now, most people might wait for a sale because it is $70. It is $70, and then it was like, you know, you had the shut up edition, which I got the shut up edition, which was well, I got it on for a deal, which was like $83, but it was actual retail is $100, and so anyway, so I got the shut up edition, excited about it or whatever, and then this situation happens, and so you get all these bad ratings, and then you get one of the biggest content creators that talks about fighting games uninstall your shit. Oh yeah, it caused a lot of attention. It caused a lot of attention, so much so that it had it had even like the gaming tournaments that was set up that was like, hold up, do we need to, because this was like the second presented game that they were going to have, and they were like I forget how you, whatever it, you know, fighting championship. But anyway, so they FGC, I think it's FGC, but they Dave's like, oh, this is what's happening here. So they were even scrambling, thinking about, well, maybe we might need to just go into and use the PlayStation 5 version and not just run it off of PC or whatever if this is bad. So again, now I'm going to get to the theory. If we all know about how patches go, they take time. They do not, these patches usually take a couple of weeks to some months. The only time that I've seen something rapid happen is with Crimson Desert. And the one thing, a reason why I say why Crimson Desert is so, and why Crimson Desert is unique is because it's already like established to set its games up because of Black Desert. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is an MMO. Black Desert is an MMO. So, like, you know how, like, those games are always getting patches and stuff like that. So, like, Crimson Desert was, like, one of the quickest ones here in recent years, in recent memory of, like, oh, man, we're going to put a patch out there. But that still took, a couple of weeks. It was quicker than normal. But normally, when you see that these companies are doing patches, it takes months. Sometimes we've seen patches that takes a year or so. Like, you go back and you look at like Days Gone, the Witcher 3, like tons of games, like they take at least a couple of weeks to months to patch. This son of a bitch in Tokon did it like that. Arc Systems came in there and was like, boom, like that. Quick, lickety split, which tells me something. That is a theory. I'm just saying this. I'm just saying this as a theory. This is coming from me. I don't know anything. And if I'm wrong about it, I will cook me. But for them to have those patches already on the fly that fast to stabilize everything tells me that they had that shit already. They had it already planned out, because you know how Sony operates. You know that Sony, this game is funded by Sony, and you know that Sony wants that game to play better and want more gamers to buy that game on the PlayStation than they want it to be bought on the PC, because that means that they have to give PC gets a cut. And so they must have went from the patch, because again, the beta, it played a little bit better. When the launch played a little bit better than the beta. And the beta was just the week before or something like that. And the beta had its issues. It was a little laggy and stuff like that. And there was complaints about the same thing that Omar's talking about like there was people that couldn't download it. It wasn't playable on the Steam machine. It wasn't neither on the Steam Deck. It wasn't on the Steam machine. It was all types of stuff that was going on when the game went through the beta. Well, then when the game launched, there was still the same issues. That patch came so goddamn quick. I've never seen anything like it. Now, when we get some more information about it, I will definitely come in here and say, okay, I had on the tinfoil hat for a minute. I was wrong. But if we don't hear nothing, man, did Sony try to do that bullshit again? Like they did with Black Myth Wukong? Like they did with Baldur's Gate 3? You know what I'm saying? Like they've done with other games where they sit here and they do some slick shit, and then, you know what I'm saying? Like what they did with Stellar Blade, where Stellar Blade was announced to come to Xbox all of a sudden last second. Oh, we gonna fund that shit. Come on now. You mean to tell me that they ain't gonna sit there and try to make a game run better? That they funded, that they want to have the bragging rights of saying, look, we've outpaced and outsold the mighty PC. You know what I mean? Like, come on now. I don't know. Like that is a quick ass patch. I've never seen it. And the patch was so rapid that they shut the servers down, because I went to go play it again, because I was like, man, like it played better. So I'm like, you know, but again, I did see the lag and some issues when I was playing some people online, but I didn't play a lot of people online. I was playing more of the different modes that was in the game, just trying to get a feel of it, because I did a little bit of the tutorial. I didn't do tons of the tutorial. You know what I'm saying? That's for me to go back into the lab once I get dug into the game, because like I'm kind of bouncing around and playing all types of games at once right now. So, but that to me was just weird. That was just weird. Sabo said, I heard, he says, I'm getting it on Epic. He says, I didn't have any issues on the beta on there. Okay, so again, that could be another factor as well. You know what I'm saying? I got it on Steam. So, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I got it on a good deal. But also I knew that something was up too on the PC version as well. Well, no, it wasn't even on the PC version. This was on the PC and the PlayStation version. I remember I was telling Kano this. I was like, I said, I'm looking at these charts right now, and it's already on sale in Japan and in other places in the East. The game was already on sale. Like, I mean, we're talking about like $15 off, $10 to $15 off. So that told me that, something ain't right. Like, people aren't gravitating to the game or something. And I mean, the game is fantastic. It's a great fighter. Like, there's no question about it. Like I said, the only nitpick I have is the switching out of the characters. Like, you know, if I want to get and that's, you know, more practice makes perfect. That's how that works. Like, I'll figure that out, but because it's a lot better than what it was in the beta. And I heard it was really, really bad in the alpha or whatever. So, I just, you know what I'm saying? That's my only nitpick. I did see the rating for Tokon. Of course, it's a PlayStation exclusive, so it's going to get higher ratings, higher marks. Trying to sit there and say that I read one of the reviews where it was saying the story is incredible. It's one of the best. Stop it. Not talking about like the story itself. Like, I did play some of the story mode. Yes, it starts off really hot, animation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I forget what the main bad dude's name is. Like, he's in there. He's kicking ass. He's tearing up a whole planet. Like, so, like, yeah, the animation looks great. You know what I'm saying? But Arc Systems, they do a great job with that. If you go and play, like, if you want to sit there and watch and Curie, this might be something for you. I don't know if you got Guilty Gear Strive, but I recommend this to anybody. You get Guilty Gear Strive and Guilty Gear's Xrd, and there's just kind of like a story mode where you're not even really doing any fighting. You're just watching a manga, pretty much. It's crazy. That's how good the graphics look. That's how great the animation is in those games. So it's kind of like that, but see, then it's like it jumps into like the comic book strip stuff when you get into other parts of it. Like, and that's the part to me, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm not mad at it, but I would hope it would give me a little bit more, because I'm gonna say this. I feel that Tokon overall is a better fighter just because of the collection of fighters, the amount of content so far of Tokon is a better game. But man, there's a lot of people that slept on Invincible Versus. That was a story mode. If you want to sit there and see a story mode, watch my stream. I streamed it on Fight Night about a month ago. I was tough. Now that's how that was kind of like on the Mortal Kombat end of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't as like graphical as like, you know, you would see Mortal Kombat or even like the latest Tekken 8, you know what I mean? Like that those were stories to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? You get to see the characters in like a true story form. You see that in Invincible. That's not a long story, but it is dope. And that's what I'm like, hold up. Did this person play Invincible Versus? Because that was a story. That's when I'm thinking of a story, I think of Mortal Kombat, how they do their story. Invincible Versus, that's a dope ass story. You know what I'm saying? This is a cool story, but it's not like that. So again, made me realize, again, you got to pay your handlers. I get it. You know, you getting paid by your handlers. You got to sit there and you got to do that. You got to cook for them a little bit. So then they give it like a 90 or some shit like that. It's a good fighter. I would say that the fighter ranked probably close to where it is. I would say at 85 overall. I mean, because it needs to be knocked for its internet. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be knocked for no rollback netcode. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be knocked for giving it's got to be knocked for PlayStation locking out over 130 countries because it's required to have a PSN account. It has to be knocked for coming on to a platform that has the most players available, and it's not properly working, and you're asking those people to pay top dollar for the game, but yet And especially if people have rigs, like, and listen, that's what a lot of people were saying, which is absolutely fact. Like, I know that Maximilian got a way better PC than I do. And I got, like I said, I got a high end. And his shit wasn't even working right. So again, that's what I'm saying. But you still give it a 9 out of 10. But then yet Halo Remake gets what was it, a 70? Because you're over here bringing up that Microsoft help funds something for Israel, and you bring up Gaza. What? 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 Like I said the last time I talked about that, I was like, we can have that discussion. You know what I'm saying? But not over a game review. So you have stuff that is game related that is harming a gaming community, but because it runs great on PlayStation 5, that's all that matters. It gets a 9. Stop it. That's bullshit. So anyway, Seppo said, he said, you're not buying Tokon? Why not? I would definitely recommend people to get it. Like I said, I wasn't buying it on the PlayStation 5. I was getting it on PC. So, I mean, regardless, what I'm saying, I'm a fighting fan, so I got to get it. So there was no way I wasn't going to get that game. But it's just, for me, it's like, okay, I'll get it here. But that's why it made it so weird that they did that patch so quick. It was lightning fast. But I mean, I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad. I booted it up for a hot second to see how it was running. It did run a lot smoother. It also did a shader. And that's something that it didn't have before. Like it would have this long thing to kind of read access. I guess it was the DRM stuff. And then of course you had to it would sign you into PlayStation or whatever. Excuse me. And then so that was it. But when I launched it before I started to stream, it did a whole shader, like acquirement or whatever, which tells me, yeah, they went ahead and they did some work. And to have that work available that quick, either we're in a special time to where now patches are going to be coming fast and frequent from a lot of these developers, or they were holding on to that shit because they knew what they were doing. And they thought that they could maybe wait it out a little longer before the gaming community said, yeah, nah, I'm over it. Now, the gaming community, I will say this, is they're not being very, very patient here. I think that a lot of people are wore down, honestly, and I think that that's a good thing. But one thing that I also think that is, I find that a little suspicious. But like I said, I got the tinfoil hat on for that. If we come out to be wrong, then I will definitely say I was wrong. And yeah, but you know what? I'm gonna get my thoughts. So Sapo says you really don't think that the game doesn't appeal to Japanese character? Well, I mean, it is. Well, but hold on. See, I don't know. Okay, see, I would agree with you with that if we need to see what the Spider-Man whatever the Brand New Day. Spider-Man Brand New Day numbers did out there. If it did gangbusters out there in Japan, then I would think that they would be really, you know what I'm saying? Because, or like all other Marvel movies, like, Endgame and the rest of those Marvel movies, if they do great numbers out there, then I would definitely think that it would. Now, if it doesn't, then you're on to something. I don't know though, but either way, I'm definitely enjoying my purchase of it. I think that it's worth the buy. I just think that I think the rating should be a little bit lower, should be knocked for the inconsistencies that the game launched out with. Other games get knocked for it. This game is not getting knocked for it. So again, I know that people are like, well, you're trying to I'm not nitpicking. I know exactly what I'm you know what I'm saying? Is right there. It's evident. You sit here and you dock a game for certain things like that. And a lot of times games get knocked on their rating because of how those games launched, or if they need a day one patch, right? And the patches doesn't work right. So those games get knocked. This game didn't. This game's still getting nines up the board, and it's ended up with an 87, which is crazy. I mean, that's great, but if this was on Xbox, wonder what the score would be. 83, 82. You know what I'm saying? At the max, 84, because that's where they kind of rank. Other than Forza, They tend not to put any of those story games or anything like that over 85. We're gonna see what they're gonna do with Elder Scrolls though. That's gonna be one of those games they ain't got no choice. They ain't got no choice. In my opinion. But anyway, that's my thoughts on that on Tokon. Let's see. Let's get in here and talk about this. The gaming stuff within owning our licenses. So if you didn't hear about this was pretty crazy. Let me look for it right there. Here we go. This tripped me out. Like I heard that today. Okay, so Aliens Fire Team Elite vanishes from Nintendo Switch without refunds or online options, leaving players to curse the digital future, never buying cloud versions of anything again. This is pretty wild. It says back in March, fans of the multiple metamorph shooter received a message saying that it was going offline. This was due to the release being removed from the eShop. Jump forward 5 months and it's gone. And due to its needing remote servers to be playable in any form, it's now inaccessible. Reopening discussions about how anti-consumer current practices are becoming. Let me read this other little paragraph right here. It says, see, Aliens Fire Team is purely remote multiplayer, and the means the devs have to maintain cloud servers to keep it up and running. Without infrastructure to allow owners to make their own servers, once a game like that goes down, it's gone. And that's what's just happened. And there's no compensation, even though the thing you paid money for has been taken away. Okay, so this was something that was a crazy discussion years ago. We talked about this on GRG, and there was people that argued that like it was madness. We brought up about like, these ports that was coming over to to Nintendo, to the Switch, was cloud based. I mean, I'm saying, and like there was people in the chat that was, and then of course like people in the comments, and then there was other people that made videos of what took like clips of what we were saying and calling us out of our names, saying we stupid, we didn't know what the hell we were talking about, and I was just like, what? It's right there. So again, that went away. So this is already, you know what I'm saying, it's been confirmed. So like, and again, like, but it was a big thing there for a minute, was like, do you really think that the Switch is that powerful to take a game that just newly dropped on an Xbox One, or a Xbox One X, or a PlayStation 5, or PlayStation 4, or PlayStation 4 Pro, that game is going to be able to come over and play? If that's the case, then they would get all third-party titles. Like there would be Call of Duty and other games on that. And anyway, there was a lot of people that wanted to argue that down. But getting to the nitty-gritty of this, right? Like this just goes back to what I've been talking about for the last couple of weeks, is that like, there has to be something done. This is an opportunity for Xbox right now to go in and be innovators instead of trying to follow the herd. Out of all the times, like PlayStation has been kind of, for the last 20 years or so, PlayStation has kind of been falling behind Xbox, and Nintendo, especially behind Xbox, is doing different things that Xbox has been implementing and put it into PlayStation. And so now PlayStation is now taking the reins of going in and saying, look, we want to set the terms of how gaming is supposed to be. And Xbox will be asinine, even though I know that there is a digital age here. Like there's people that are, and I made this argument as well, is that there's more people that buy digital than like by a mile compared to physical. But now seeing how, if there was honest brokers behind this, then this is where this situation could be okay. Like, we can get into the digital age, you might have to pay a little bit extra for physical, for those who still want that, still want a physical item. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But we see that these developers, these corporations, well, not so much developers, but these corporations, they can't be trusted. I mean, case in point, look at this. There's people that pay money for this game. I mean, this game came out, and see, this is another thing too that's really pissing me off too. Okay, this game came. It was one of the. It came out later. It came out like in what 2020 on the Switch. This Alien Elite game came out. Excuse me. Like 2022, something like that. Like, and 2022, 2023, something like that. And so now this game is what? So any game could have a 3-year lifespan. So let's just say that, like, okay, so like any company could sit there and just say, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I think we need to just go ahead and just drop that. How can we stop it? Because now they've gotten real slick. We have been, and we all have done this, so we can't sit here and try to act like, you know, it's not a problem. But when we get the game, you see, normally back in the days, you could read the service of agreement early. You know what I mean? You could sit there and go and look at it. Usually, the service of agreement is in like the box, or you could even go online and look at the service of agreement. Now you have to purchase the game, and then you have to go through everything and then agree to it. And it is so much literature that we just sit there and we just like, man, okay, and that's it. And then we're gone. And out of that, they can sit there and they can say, listen, you don't own this license. You don't own this license. You're just renting it. You're just leasing it. And we can do whatever we want to with it. And that's, to me, is where there's nobody that can sit there and that can get a refund. Now there could be these gamers that can go and try to sue and they can get some attention. But I mean, but then that's money. That's more money being taken out of these, unless they can get like a major firm that can go in and want to jump in. But I mean, is it worth it? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's still going to be money that's going to be wasted in some way, shape, or form. And then you just way that these gamers that bought this, and if they bought it day one and they paid full price, because Nintendo is not very friendly when it comes to sales. And when they do have sales, you know what I'm saying? Now, some games, but anyway, I don't know, man. Like, that's insane, and that is even making more terrifying about what the future is going to look like going forward. How are we supposed to sit there and trust what these companies are trying to do? So that's why I'm saying, like, Xbox has a great opportunity right now to make sure that there's opportunities to, of course, not only just make sure we own our license, we own the license of the game. You know what I'm saying? So where we would never have to lose it, but to implement some kind of way to where you can add you a hard drive into the next Xbox. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as it's optional, it shouldn't be a problem. It shouldn't be a problem whatsoever. It's not like we're asking Xbox to make a Project Helix with it, but have an option to have a port to where people can use it, or, you know, something that maybe if you want to have an extra little place to where you can slot it in, if something like that, if you wanted to try to make a little extra money off of it, cool, whatever. But it needs to have, but gamers have to have the reassurance that we're going to keep these games once they go offline, that we can still play them offline. Because if once you get to a point to where games just start falling off the vine, because there's a lot of games that does that on PC. Like there's games that I've played and I've showed off, and then those games just, they're done. Like, and you just never play them again. Now I've gotten fortunate with a lot of those games to where I got free copies of them to help promote. But still, you know, I mean, like, what about the other people that's gone in there and that, like, when I've jumped in and I played some of these games and they spent hard-earned money on upgrading their character and they know life that game, and I'm going around and I might come in and I might come back a week later and jump in and play, and then I might see that same player and that player is like God tier, like, you know what I mean? Like, so, and just that money that they should have because they enjoyed the game so much, but what about them? Because now the service is gone and then the game is just over with. So, and that's another thing too with online games, but it's also now happening with offline games. So so yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, Virtual Fighter does look incredible. Virtual Fighter looks like it. I don't know. I mean, listen, Street Fighter, I think looks incredible, plays great. Um, Tekken 8, I love it, but it made doing that stupid season 2 hurt it dramatically. Um, and now that they're rebounding, but still a good fighter. And Mortal Kombat 1, same thing. It just was the mechanic. It was just a weird mechanic, and I'm not mad about them trying to go different with what they did. It's just it got way too sweaty. Like, man, if you sit there and you got the right combo set with how you assist, man, it got real sweaty. And what I'm saying, if you've been a Mortal Kombat fan for years and played all different types of that was such a unique Mortal Kombat, which I'm not mad about taking new steps or whatever, but they're gonna have to dial back a little bit of that when they do the next one. But I think that they're not going to do another Mortal Kombat right now. I think they're going to go to an Injustice from what I'm hearing, but we'll see. We'll find out about that. But either way, I don't know, man. Like, I just think that the situation with these games, with the licensing and stuff like that, like, man, it's just we're in tough times, Jack. We're in tough times. We got to figure something out here. And that's why I keep saying that, like, retro gaming is something that maybe we're going to have to go back to, because if you get to the point to where you feel like you're now owning the product that you're buying, and you're paying more money behind it. Like, I seen the CEO of Take-Two get on there on one of the financial shows from I forget the name of it, on NBC. He was on a financial show, and they were talking about, he was bragging about like how people paid for the $100 version more than the $80, than the standard $80 version. I mean, just think about that right now. He's basically setting the tone. And I knew this, and I knew this. I'm like, what some of these companies are going to do is going to try to follow behind what Take-Two can do. And Take-Two is one of one. Grand Theft Auto 6 is one of one, or just Grand Theft Auto as a franchise is one of one. You're not going to sit here and have you can't bring the Day of the Dawn Walker and have that to be $80 and then hide content that's already in the game, and then say, if you want that content that's already in the game, well, you got to pay $100. Ain't no way that game is going to come off the ground. I'm excited for Exodus that's going to be coming out here next year. That game looks incredible. It's looked like it's a success. Well, it's not a successor, but it's the old team of BioWare has made a game that's very, very familiar. Looks like Mass Effect. They can't do that. Ain't no way. And so, but what I get afraid of is something like, let's say Fable does incredible, right? And Fable blows up. Well, another Fable is going to come pretty soon. Like, they're not going to wait. They're not going to sit here and wait another, 15 years to bring another Fable. There'll be another Fable in another 3, no doubt. And then they're saying, well, here you go, $80, and then we're going to hit you over the head for a $100 version for, but content that's already. Xbox is not going to get away with that. It's just, it's not. So, and I understand that Fable could be incredible, and I'm expecting it to be incredible, but it's just not going to do that. And I'm very nervous about that. I'm very, very nervous about that. I hope that it isn't going to just continue to be like that, but from all indications, it's pretty wild. But yeah, listen to that CEO sit there and come up there and boast about the game being $100. Well, everybody bought the $100, and that's the thing that bothers me, is that gamers, man, it's just no different than that boycott that they're talking about PlayStation. And you heard what those PlayStation execs called those people, called the people that are saying that they're going to do the boycott. What, bonkais? What, fools? I think that's what it is. It was bonkais. Well, they call them fools. I know that. That's what it is in English. Fools. And what did we see today? And listen, PlayStation, you don't think the Sony staff wasn't sitting here knowing that there were going to be some kind of pushback for them talking about doing this all digital thing? Of course they knew that. And that's why right now they're doing this crazy marketing, and they're presenting that Wolverine skin, that case. Well, not skin, but it's the case for the PlayStation 5. Look dope. Looks clean as shit. Looks fire. Now, you could do one thing. You could do one thing. You could sit there and you could say, listen, I'm not going to buy Wolverine, but I am going to buy the whatever those blades. I'm going to buy the blades. You can do that for 70, 75. So for what was it, $75? Or if you want the Wolverine controller, which I did see some PlayStation people post the comparison between the Xbox Wolverine and Deadpool controllers compared to the Wolverine controllers. Yeah, the big butt thing is pretty stupid. It was. So, Xbox is already get cooked on that. But it went into the thing of what they were trying to do. Sometimes Xbox try to be too funny instead of being a little bit more serious. I mean, if they wanted to do the big butt ones, that's fine. But they should have had like ones that didn't have the big butt. Like that was the whole reason why I didn't get ones, because I'm like, oh, that shit look clean. Oh, pause. I am not trying to rub my hands through Wolverine or Deadpool's ass cheeks. I'm just not, it's not that serious. I'm not doing that. So, I mean, I know it's just a controller, but it's just the fact that like, it wouldn't even feel right because because of the humps on it. So maybe they were just looking at it as being collector's items, but listen, I don't know. But the PlayStation versions do look better. And that skin looks, and those blades look dope, but we know what's going to happen. These people are going to buy this shit. They're going to buy it. They're going to buy Wolverine, and they're going to buy Grand Theft Auto 6, and they're going to buy Call of Duty, and they're going to buy NBA 2K. Now, NBA 2K might get hit. NBA 2K might get hit because it is getting it's getting pretty thorough out there. But man, he said Sapo says, but he says my Xbox One refurbished from GameStop refuses to die. No, don't let it die. I got to get my my Xbox One X fixed. It still comes on and everything, but it won't give me a screen because my son vape. So what I found out is that like if that vape gets inside of the control of the console, it will mess up the HDMI port. It'll cake on that stuff that comes from that vape. It'll cake on in there, and then it'll mess up to where you can't receive So anyway, I got to get that part fixed. I mean, like I probably could crack it open and do. I'm not doing that. I'm just gonna let somebody else fix it. Or if anything, I can just buy another one. But I mean, it works. I mean, y'all hear it on. I hear it booting up, all that. But it's like I can't see a screen because that's what it is. So anyway. But so I'll get that fixed. But anyway, he says got a Xbox One X for $50 on the marketplace. Bro, that's what I'm talking about. Now then I could definitely do that. But see, but like I said, mine is fairly new. I mean, my son only had it for like a couple of months because once he said it's like something's wrong with it, and then when I was reading on to why the HDMI, now that was one of, and I knew he vaped, so I was like, man, give me my shit. And don't ask for nothing else. Yeah, the HDMI chip. Yeah. They said it's the film, it's the chip or the film. So whatever. So I'm just gonna see if I could take it somewhere. I've been saying that I was gonna do that. It's just up in my closet, but like all the rest of gaming console stuff. But other than my PlayStation 1 that's right there, that's hanging up on my speaker, but that I refuse to open. I'm not gonna ever open that box. Yeah, no, it's less like, yeah, I got to get that fixed. But if I can find an Xbox One X for real cheap, and I'm sure I can. I know that I've seen some Xbox One S's real cheap. Like, and I mean, I don't want no S. You know what I'm saying? I just want I got my X. I'll just get the X back or whatever. But now I did see one Xbox One X. It was custom. That was dope, but that was like $300. That was like $3 bills. And I was like, so I don't know. Anyway, He says, I got two Xbox One VCR. He says, one cost me $20 Canadian and the other 15. Oh, well, yeah, man. Canada, man, they over there cheap. I might need to look over there in Canada prices, boy, for Xbox One. Man. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, hey man, the Xbox One VCR went hard, but the Xbox One X was that man. I wish they brought that out earlier, but still, you know what I'm saying? Phil, that was a win from Phil for bringing that out for sure. But anyway, get ready to wrap this up. But my last part on this is just like, man, listen, we got to just stay vigilant. I know that like right now, and see, I think that these companies know that they got to go balls on the wall because they're going to present these new consoles here pretty soon. And they're going to have some, and I think PlayStation is going to have a crazy launch. Xbox is definitely going to have a crazy launch. I think that like Asha just posted before I started that she was playing Elder Scrolls 6. Well, if that's exclusive to Xbox, which it should be, that's going to cook. And ain't nobody going to be reading the fine print and all of that. And man, we're headed for some wild times. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this though. If the boycott doesn't work, which I don't think it will, what will work and what's going to work is the fact that these prices is they can't say sustainable. They can't keep these prices at these they can't keep raising these prices. That's what's going to hurt the industry. They're just pricing people out, and that's unacceptable. And that's what's going to work. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? People want to boycott and they upset about it. Well, we'll see. But I don't have too much faith in that. But I do have a faith in people over here saying, man, no, that's a little bit too expensive. That was a little bit too expensive. So, yeah, but yeah, I will have some more for you tomorrow. There's some more topics I want to drop. I definitely just wanted to get back on basis. We'll do some fight night tomorrow night as well. So we won't my thoughts. Tomorrow's next thoughts won't be that long. We'll do it regular time in the afternoon, and then we'll get through a couple of topics, and then we'll do some fight night later on tomorrow night. So want to jump onto that story, and you can see how great and grand that story is. Myself, I mean, not saying that I won't have no fun with it, but I'm like, come on now. Incredible Versus had a great story. Had a great story. Just when I was talking about like with the story, like it followed like the animation, the show, but it was all like live. There wasn't no steals. There wasn't no comic book steals where you had to read this, but it was all voice acting. Like just like in Mortal Kombat, like that's. In Tekken 8, like that's what I was talking. That's what I'm like. Hey man, if you talk about story, that I want all fighting games to do that. And I know all fighting games can't because they don't have the budget. But I mean, come on now, you should have enough budget for that. But it is what it is. All right, guys, I really do appreciate it. We're finna just go ahead and drink a little bit more water, and then go ahead and now I gotta give me some more water and give me some Boulder Gate popping off here for the night. So I am going to be busy on the gaming front. So if you see me online, say what's up. Hey, if you like the content, man, go ahead and hit that like button, that subscribe button. Let me hear your comments, what you think if you listen to this later. Come and check me out tomorrow. We'll be doing this, and then also for going on later on in the week, definitely for Sunday, come and check out the gamer section. We'll be live, hopefully 3:00 Central time, and fight night will definitely be popping off Sunday night as well. So when Matt drops, man, I'm kind of interested in trying to see what them Rams is like. But man, I need to hear that Aaron Donald's coming back. Oh man, I need to hear that. But anyway, all right, guys. Thanks so much, Stanley. Appreciate it. Y'all have a good one. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace. Oh, my button is over here.